Hi, I'm Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
This is LORRE, and welcome to another episode of The Relationship Show, where we talk about everything and anything that has to do about relationships. And it doesn't have to be between a man and a woman, or a husband and a wife, or lovers, or anything like that. It can be anything that's relational to you, that you feel is important enough to ask the question to get the answer. So you've come to the right place. We'll do whatever we can to answer those questions. If you would like to send some questions, send them to therelationshipshow@yahoo.com. And again, we'll do whatever we can to get those questions answered. Or you could visit www.accesstv.org and look for the executive producer's information, and you can submit your questions to him, and he will certainly make sure we get them on the air. Again, we want to make life easy, so the only way to do that is to give you a little bit of our wisdom to bestow on you so that it gives you more of an edge in life. All right, so let's get started. But before we start, 2 seconds, I just want to do a shout out to my friends and family out there. Love you guys, miss you, and thank you for giving your undying support. We appreciate it. We adore you for taking the time to tune in to accesstv.org. Here's our first question. Dear LORRE, I happened to meet my best friend at work. We would go on business trips together and just have a blast. Long hours working on reports and projects passed by when we worked together. Long hours working on reports or projects passed by when we worked together. It doesn't make sense, but we'll keep it moving. He is married, and I promise you nothing inappropriate has happened. We're just friends. We have a similar sense of humor. At a business dinner, I finally met his wife. We talked. She made it very clear by her actions she did not like me. She also said she did not trust me. She told my best friend this. He had to reassure her, but she still doesn't believe him. Anyway, another job opportunity came my way, and I finally left the position I was at. I miss talking to my best friend. Should I stop talking to him and trying to meet for coffee because I know how his wife feels? Sincerely, Coffee Chat. Well, the first thing I'd like to say is communication is absolutely key in any relationship. And it sounds like that you're not comfortable with the fact that his wife isn't comfortable with your relationship. The recommendations I would have is that you first may want to talk to your friend, and you may want to share with your friend your fears or whatever you're struggling with. And I'm sure your friend will give you insight about his wife and about their overall relationship, because sometimes there may be things that you're not even privy to because it has nothing to do with you. It may not be a question of her not really trusting you. It may be her own issues within herself. Now, while she may have shared that with her friend, that she didn't trust you, there may be other issues that are contributing to that, because unless what you're sharing with me is literally just as plain as I've read it, that you work with this person, you have a good rapport with that person and a good friendship, there may be some other underlying issues that she's struggling with. Another thing that you could do to help alleviate her, to make her feel more included, because if your intent is just to have that friendship with your friend who happens to be the husband of this woman who's not comfortable with you, what you may want to consider doing is inviting her along. Yes, invite her along for lunch or some activity to make her feel a little more comfortable, get a chance to know you. I think that that will alleviate any insecurities that she may be feeling, because for obvious reasons within herself, she's struggling with the relationship that you share with her husband. I don't believe you should just end a friendship because of things that really probably can be avoided, and just handle it direct on and talk to her and talk to your friend and let her know and him know that I have no desires to do anything other than to maintain a strong friendship that I have with the person, the male that you're talking about. But don't lose face. I mean, it's a reality. You've recognized that there's something going on and you need to address it. So I wish you luck, and let me know how it goes. Send some follow-up questions so we know exactly what happened after you decided to take some of my advice, which I think it will work. Okay. Dear ladies, of course Arjo's not here, so it's Dear LORRE. While at a community fair, they had several booths of random things. My friend wanted to go to a palm and tarot card reader. I reluctantly sat with her. While checking my Facebook status, the lady looked at me and said, "I know you did not ask for a reading, but I have to tell you, you are in grave, grave, grave danger." I laughed and blew it off. At the end of my friend's session, Madam Sewer, whatever her name is, asked if I wanted anything to protect me from the grave, grave, grave danger. I laughed again and said no. As I was leaving, she, my God be with you, said, "My friends think she should go back and get protection just in case." I don't believe in such things, but now I'm a little worried. Suppose she has a gift. Should I go back? Well, for me personally, this is obviously my opinion and only my opinion. Any soothsayer or any tarot card reader or any medium to me is something you would want to stay away from. That's my own personal opinion, because I personally believe that there's positive and negative energy, how you ever want to define it. But for me, spiritually speaking, I know that I am not going to go to other places to have someone forecast a future, especially if it's a negative thing. And by the sounds of this email, it's negative. She's putting some thoughts in your mind and in your spirit to get you to be concerned and fearful. And I'm a firm believer, spiritually speaking, God is a God of love and faith and hope, and there's no fear. So for you to start to sense fear, stay away from this person and pray. And if you are spiritual, pray and seek deeper understanding in terms of what you are struggling with. And don't get wrapped up in that, because it opens up a whole can of worms, in my opinion, that could lead to other things down the road. Stay away from things that are trying to cause confusion, fear, anger, anything negative. Stay away from it, okay? Don't worry about what your friend said. Don't take her heed. Just stay away from her, and then just continue doing what you're doing, which hopefully, you are about positivity and doing what's right in this world. That's all I have to say. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, next question. I am turning 50 this year. I am so excited. So I've decided to ask 50 people what I should do in celebration. Based on the wisdom of the 50 people, I am going to make a list of 10 things I'm going to do to celebrate the entire year. So, Arjo and Lori, which Arjo's not here today, what should I do to celebrate my 50 years on this great earth created by our Father? Well, I think you should do whatever you want to do. 10 things you said. Start off with 10 things that you've always wanted to do, like it's a bucket list. Say you wanted to bungee cord jump, or which I would never do, but I'm just thinking of things that you could do. Say you've always wanted to stand on stage and be a singer, or maybe be a comedian. There's always open mics in different clubs and locations that you could go to and do something that you've said, oh, I've always wanted to do it. Maybe you wanted to take dance lessons, or maybe you wanted to go scuba diving. But just do whatever it is that you've always desired to do, but at some point in time, things got pushed aside. Believe in yourself that there are some things that you really want to pursue. And while it's great to have friends give you advice, really take some time, take some moment to sit down and reflect on life and say, what if I had all the money in the world and all the time in the world, what would I want to do? And then be realistic, obviously, and decide out of that what would you consider doing, and doing it, and do it. Plan it. Write it down in a journal and say, one day this is what I'm going to do, and I'm turning 50, these are the things I'm going to do, and stick with it. And before you know it, you're going to be texting me or emailing me, because I get both, to say, guess what? I did the things I never thought I was going to do. Believe in yourself and go for it. So, I hope you have fun finding those things, and send us your feedback. We'd love to hear from you and see what are those things that you actually did. Thank you for the question. Hey, I'm sick and friggin', yes, they said friggin', tired of hearing about bullying. Bullying is an age-old thing that happens. Some call it teasing. Others say peer pressure. I say get over it. I think we protect our kids way too much from being uncomfortable or not being liked or accepted. That is it. It's just way exaggerated. So what? You did not win the trophy for best dance routine. Here's a certificate for trying. No, you didn't win. No such luck. Everyone should get an A, so no one feels bad. No, I deserve the A, you deserve the D because I did better. Get over it. Some say that bullying is bad. Same thing with bullying. Sorry, I hurt your feelings. The truth hurts, so get over it. You don't like what I'm saying? Here's a certificate you're saying you are right. From Troll. Should have spent time reading that before I came on the show because it's a little fragmented in my mind. But here's what I'll say about that. Bullying is a real thing, okay? I get what you're talking about, the aspects of life and certain things. You know, you win some, you lose some, and teaching the kids early on. Life is about winning and losing, and some have it, some don't. All of those things, I get it. But you're mixing the issue about bullying where people have actually killed themselves as a result of the rigorous, the aggressive behavior of individuals who feel that they're entitled to invade someone's space and make them uncomfortable and make them unhappy. That's a serious thing. And I don't think by you saying bullying, what's the big deal? I'm sick and tired of hearing bullying. Well, I'm sorry, but it's a real epidemic in some of the school systems and even different areas of establishments. This exists. And it's more out of hand now because you have the cyber aspect of it. You have Skype, you have Facebook, you have Twitter, you have all kinds of stuff that's out there that can perpetuate an issue of being harassed and picked on. It's a reality that we need to address, you know, and if you have kids, and I don't know if you do, you need to be open to that and recognize that that's a real thing. Kids commit suicide over being picked on and being made fun of. It's not a joke. So from your perspective, I disagree. Bullying is a reality, and I think it needs to be addressed, and I think we should always stay on top of breaking that cycle because it's a perpetual thing. As a young child, you're bullied. You grow up, you have kids, you can bully. You don't know where that translates, but I'm just saying that's a real thing. As for things about life, you're right. I agree. Some things you win, some things you lose. Don't get your kid all thinking that everybody's a winner. The reality is, when you look at sports and when you look at specific things where it's evaluated based off performance, there is going to be those who are going to excel better than others. And there needs to be recognition for those who prepare and do what they got to do to excel. But when you talk about character, it's important to understand that character is a process where you start with your children. You build that character with your children. You empower them. You get them to believe in themselves. And there are going to be times when you have to say, good job, even though they didn't do the number one thing, they weren't picked for the number one slot or whatever, but you got to empower them and make them feel good about themselves. That's building character in your kids and confidence and self-esteem. All of those things are started with how they're being treated. So from my perspective, I agree with you on some things. I disagree with you on other things. Just understand that you got to look at life a little bit through gray colored glasses because it's not always black and white and everything. And while I understand that you may be frustrated with that, you need to recognize it's a reality on certain things that we cannot ignore. Okay, so I hope I answered your questions. I hope you weren't thinking that I was brushing you off. I was just trying to make you understand, but the realities of life, some are good, some are, not bad, but everything has its consequences, and the reality is not always black and white. There's always different scenarios, and you got to be open to looking at all those scenarios. We're out of time. Thank you for joining the Relationship Show. I'm Lori, and remember this, the most important relationship starts with loving yourself first. See you next time. Bye.
But it seems like when I talk to you, the words get in the way. I don't know what to do, and I don't know what to say. But it seems like when I talk to you, the words get in the way.